This is our pop star introduction tonight.
Okay, what a fantastic introduction. I like it.
Because we're sitting at the 45th anniversary of Alien, and it means a lot to both Scott and I. And Sigourney Weaver's my favorite actress. I love the Prometheus movies. I'm kind of tired of Prometheus being thrown under the bus. Really, I mean, they were amazing movies. What are people's problems with them?
I would say that people who had a issue with Prometheus just don't get it.
Possibly, yeah.
And I don't mean it from like a hippie. I am, snapping my fingers like, "Ooh, man, you just don't get it." It's just it wasn't Prometheus wasn't meant to be a no-brain sledgehammer baseball bat horror movie. It was you hear
smart movie.
And you always hear, does this need a sledgehammer or a scalpel? Are you going to come in somewhere and fix shit with a sledgehammer, or are you going to come in somewhere and fix shit with a scalpel? Not that this was a fixing thing. Same thing. This was very much Prometheus was a horror movie with a scalpel. Mm-hmm. It was very precise. It was very specific.
Yeah.
As opposed to just broad, like a whole bunch of shit. Even though basically everybody still ended up dying when you think about it.
I think
it was very precise in how people were killed.
I think criticism of science fiction is really interesting because true sci-fi fans enjoy the intelligence of science fiction. And so when people that watch action movies or Marvel movies come in and then they expect the same kind of stuff with science fiction, they're disappointed because
kind of stuff. Do you by chance mean same kind of stuff as
they see in Marvel movies action movies?
As in they want to come into to see a Marvel movie that and has the same kind of what's the word? Cognitive level of stuff. Yeah, you're not going to see that in a Marvel movie.
No,
Marvel movies shoot 'em up, bang bang.
Right.
Where some of these things like Prometheus are very high level. I mean, there's
thinking.
Yes, absolutely. That's gone into the story, the plot, the execution, the writing.
Modern.
You're not going to get that good of a production.
Or they've tied in, I would say also they've blended maybe too much sci-fi fantasy along the way, and they're too used to a fantasy element, and then they get pure science and logic and pair that with, some maybe origin stories, a little bit of religion, which science fiction ties a lot into. And they're just like, this isn't what I wanted in a movie. Well, you're not a true science fiction fan then.
Sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't.
Yeah, true. Every once in a while, I'll eat a Brazil nut.
Almond Joy's got nuts.
Mounds don't. Let me just say this.
But they say that's between, I don't am interrupting you, but they say that's always been one of the things between Star Trek and Star Wars, is that Star Wars was the very science-y.
Yeah, right.
The cerebral, that's what I was looking for. The cerebral movie where Star Wars was religion and killing people.
Right. So I mean, the truth of the matter is you can like everything. Yeah. You can't really, so if you don't like the scientific and logical element of science fiction movies, whether they're also action movies or fantasy movies at the same time, because sometimes everything is rolled together, then you just really shouldn't be criticizing science fiction because it's an entire different genre. And what I think people don't understand is our age group, we sat through Asimov movies. We sat through Philip K. Dick. We sat through all kinds
I didn't
of...
until later, though.
We were exposed to that true purest form of science fiction, and science fiction sometimes is a slow burn up until the end, and you have to pace yourself through that slow burn.
Speaking of slow burns, that's actually the first topic that we have.
Woo! What's the first topic?
Delicate.
Oh, you want to do Delicate first? Okay.
We had a good one. We did our I would say that our pop star, we really kind of blew by the Pop Tart, and we did the pop star with
Our
Alien.
pop star is Sigourney Weaver, of course. I mean, she's amazing.
No, I mean, a good thing.
And
versus
Alien,
bad thing.
Alien,
Yeah,
the
I'm
chest
sure it's
burster,
Alien.
everything is good.
Alien was our pop
But
star.
I will also say this: I want to add this in there because I just learned a little nugget of information about the band Toto because I went to see Toto in concert, and I'm just going to tell you what amazing concert. All of their songs they played, but the lead singer of Toto, there's two, but one of the lead singers of Toto is the son of John Williams, who does the Star Wars music.
Oh, really?
And he also sang vocals on Hakuna Matata in The Lion King, and I didn't know that. So during the performance, he sang Hakuna Matata, and that was kind of neat.
On the animated one or on the remake?
From the original animated one. And also, Toto, the band, did the soundtrack for the original Dune movie in the 80s.
Oh, really?
I had no idea. They did the soundtrack. So that is just a little nugget I wanted to throw in there.
Well, see, there you go. And you didn't think you were going to have any
Didn't think I have anything,
pop
but
stuff. Any pop stuff. And there you go.
But we also mentioned just how dark it's been lately, and there hasn't been a lot of light, fluffy things
we haven't had. It's been
popping
dark.
up.
It's been the dark side everywhere.
We're in the dark. We're in dark times. We're in end times.
Well, I don't think we're in end times, but I would say we're in dark times.
We're in dark times, yeah.
Have you seen? There's a lot of these AI movie stuff where they've redone trailers and stuff. They use AI to redo trailers in a 1950s fashion for
Really?
modern movies.
Wow, that's kind of neat.
Yeah, they're hilarious.
Where the boundaries of space are as limitless as the human imagination, one ship ventures into the unknown, but what they find is beyond imagination. On board the Nostromo, a spaceship on a routine mission through the depths of the cosmos. Little do they know an ancient evil awaits them, lurking in the shadows of the unknown. Meet Captain Dallas, the fearless leader. Ripley, the determined second in command.
Oh, Ripley looks pretty good for AI.
Science officer, harboring
Well, they
a
don't
secret that
look
could spell
necessarily
doom
the
for
same,
them all.
but they look
when the crew receives a distress
like they would
signal
back
from
then.
a remote planet, they are
Oh, this
duty-bound to
has really
investigate.
beautiful
What they find
graphics.
there will defy all logic and challenge their very existence. In the depths of an ancient spacecraft, they discover a horror beyond comprehension. A creature of unknown origin with a hunger for human flesh. Hunted one by one, the crew must fight to survive against an enemy that knows no mercy. With every breath, the alien draws closer, its razor-sharp claws ready to strike. With nowhere to run and nowhere to hide, they must use every ounce of their strength.
Except I've noticed they have 3 or 4 different versions of Ripley.
Well, but they're doing.
Oh, she don't look good. That one didn't look good.
Will it be the crew of the Nostromo, or will they become just another meal for the alien? In space where no one can hear you scream, experience the terror that started it all. Alien, coming soon to a theater near you.
So let's
It's because they use different, different AI language model sites. You
Sure.
know, whether it's Mid-Journey or these other ones that do like pictures and all that kind of stuff. If they're doing different ones, if they're doing them from different sites, they're going to get different results depending upon the prompting that's done.
Yeah. Let's give credit to that link. So if listeners want to go and actually pick that up and pull that up and watch it.
On YouTube, it's the channel's just called AI Movies. And
AI Movies.
That's all they do.
What would you type in to get to this alien one?
You'd go to YouTube and type in AI Movies, and it would take you to their channel.
Okay.
And you would this.
Yeah, I want to give credit to that because that was actually really a beautiful graphics in that.
Yeah, here we go. Oh, I see what happened. YouTube came up on me, and then as soon as YouTube, the app loaded, it took over and wanted to feed it like a video rather than a web page. So you go to YouTube and just type in AI Movies, and it's an actual channel. But no, we want the. Oh, here we go. Oh, that's not it. What the hell? There we go. There's a bunch of channels that are doing it, but here's one. It's just so this one was AI Movies 66. So there's a shitload of them that are doing it. So you can see here's Jurassic Park. There was Alien. There's
the
Barbie.
Joker! Wow.
And they just totally do their own thing. So Genesis, Dune. Look at RoboCop.
Is exploding
Ooh,
nationwide.
cannabis industry. Look at the cannabis industry. Yeah, man.
In a city
So there you go.
overrun by crime and corruption, a new kind of law enforcement is about to hit the streets. Welcome to the world of tomorrow, where justice wears a metallic face.
And they always do with like a 1950s. Everybody is doing it in the 1950s
Yeah.
style,
Where the law is just a punchline.
which I think just makes it
When
creepier.
Murphy is brutally gunned down in the line of duty, his story
Yeah, what's
is
your
far
thoughts
from
on
over.
RoboCop? I never really cared much for RoboCop.
I thought that was exceptionally stupid.
I didn't like what I mean. It's kind of a big deal, but I didn't like it.
I thought the concept was kind of cool. How because there's that whole, you got, that was, the 80s were big too for that corporate takeover of everything, corporations
Yeah.
running everything secretly, the secret government stuff. And
then in the 90s, we just said we're going to learn to live with it.
exactly.
We're just gonna take corporate
It's like,
greed
hey,
up the ass.
any corporations want to fund this? So
Elon Musk, anybody?
exactly. You don't have your headphones on.
Oh,
No wonder you sound terrible.
wow. You know what? Wow.
Yeah, it sounded fine, but it's kind of.
I gotta tell you what, I'm a little off lately. It's okay. Maybe I've always been a little off, but tonight I'm just kind of like, just wanting conversation, I guess, and I'm forgetting we're podcasting, and I'm like, oh, okay, we're doing this now. What's wrong with me?
Yeah, we're doing this now.
So here's the deal. I just want to say this. I don't mind all this AI stuff. This AI stuff looks neat, but what I also want people to do is actually go in and watch a good old fashioned old 50s or 50s sci-fi movie, because
Futurama.
Because think about it, if you have never watched a 50s sci-fi movie, you're not going to understand why AI looks like this.
I watched one last night. Look Futurama.
Yeah, that's great. She looks good.
It was Bender, beer drinking robot.
Bender looks terrifying in this AI version.
But
Yeah.
I actually fell asleep with the little what's his name, Jules Verne last night. Actually,
Oh yeah, which one?
was it From Earth to the Moon?
Okay.
So fucking stupid. I had seen it before. I forgot how dumb it was. But that was a 1950s movie about an 1800s story.
Yeah.
And it was, so bad. And I forgot how bad it was, because that's, like I said, I'd seen it before. They were showing it on YouTube. So
Right. It's
no, it was not good. It's not even because it's like a 1950s thing or anything like that. It wasn't good. The story never fucking resolves. You do not know how the antagonist and protagonist end up together.
Well, we're talking about AHS Delicate right now.
I know. But they end up together, and you have no idea at the end of the movie if they're even fucking alive.
We're just right now. We're talking. We might as well just segue into AHS Delicate.
This is the most exciting thing about AHS Delicate. Wow, am I gonna have a lot of fucking editing to do?
Oh, we gotta have a lot of editing.
So
it's okay.
We'll put this on a bonus track.
You know
or
what
something.
I have to say? The funniest thing about tonight is, neither of us really know when we're starting. So
I'll figure it
usually
out.
it's just me. It's just me that's off on that. But tonight, well, let's segue in, because everything you just said sums up all of AHS Delicate. We never knew what was happening. Even at the end, they didn't truly tell us what was happening.
What kind of weather report is this?
I don't know, but we're not talking about weather right now.
Yeah. Well,
What are you talking about?
Terrell, right now in Terrell and in Dallas, your heat index is 107. Everyone in McKinney is dead. The temperature, the heat index right now in McKinney is 10,000. What is that? 101,105. It's hot in McKinney.
What? Okay, segue.
So they had a fucking
Sidebar.
and everybody who is involved with American Horror Story season 12 Delegate is dead. There, that's our segue.
So I just want to say that. So
You have notes,
I have
and
10
I'm going to let
talking
you.
points.
Oh my gosh!
I have 10 talking points.
And I am going to let you. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to warm up my drink and let you go through your talking points.
I'm kind of mad actually, because I think
Join the rest of the
this
world.
particular show, we had high hopes for this one, and I thought there was a point in time when it was good and it was really building, and then they took their break and it just went to hell. It just literally went to hell after the break. But so here's my first talking point. Why the focus on spiders when there's hardly any tie-in to spiders in the show? The marketing of the show was overwhelmingly focused on spiders, but only 2 actual references to spiders in the show total. And one was like in the first episode, very minor reference. And then the following one was in the very last episode. So, I mean, did that, what do you think about that?
I think the monkey should have won.
What monkey? What monkey?
I say that one more time.
What monkey?
There's no monkey.
Why the focus on spiders? Because all their marketing was just filled with spiders all the time. Their posters.
All I can figure is this is also the only, as you can see if you refer to your notes, that this is the only episode that has ever been based on a book.
Yeah, it was. Mm-hmm.
And whoever this Danielle Valentine's book, Delicate Condition, is possibly there are spiders in the book.
Yeah, but
because there's no spiders in the. Well, there's one spider in the last. That's the only spider that I actually saw. Was the one in the last episode.
Because there's a very early episode where Anna finds a spider in her hair.
Oh, that's right.
And she says, "I'm afraid I'm going to have a spider baby."
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And then at the end, there's the spider that she squishes under her shoe, and then her straight.
And that is, and just spoiler alerts on this, we're going to spoil the show to death.
All of our stuff is spoiled.
So, and that spider at the very end is, I think, supposed to represent Siobhan and how Siobhan comes back.
See, and, not having read the book, which I don't foresee in my lifetime.
No, I mean, why would you read a book like this? I don't want to read a book like this. Gross.
So I have no idea where the spiders came from.
So at one point I thought that the costumes that they were wearing were kind of like representative of spiders, but truthfully they referred to them as raven heads and raven costumes. So that don't make any sense. Okay. So my second talking point, an FX commercial for AHS Delicate ruined the surprise that Siobhan was a Ravenhead character and the head raven to boot. They actually showed her, like 4 episodes before the end, they showed her in the black costume and revealed that she was one of them.
Oh, did they?
Yes, and everyone's very angry about that because it's like, why would you do that? That's just plain rude.
It's not rude.
It's rude.
It's not rude. It's stupid.
Well,
how is it rude to?
It's just rude to.
Rude is not holding the door open and letting it slam in your face.
Well, I thought it was rude.
Rude is
Because I remember seeing that, I'm like, oh well, of course we kind of knew that Siobhan was up to something, but what? What? Okay, so way too many themes in this damn show. At the end, very hard to see the point. And these are the themes that I just
in
randomly...
the end, I think it was hard to see the point from episode 1.
Right. I randomly wrote down all the themes I could think of, and so I'm just going to rattle them off. Women wanting it all. Which
I think that was the main theme.
Well, they're like, okay, she wanted this Oscar, but she wanted a baby, but why not? And they made that sound out like it was a bad thing at the end for women to want it all. And that... I get it. I don't think people...
Kind of, but at the very, 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 very end, she got it all.
She did. She got it all.
So then it wasn't a bad thing.
They even said at one point, "You're selfish." And it's like, well, why can't she be selfish? That didn't make any sense. So, second one, matriarchy versus patriarchy. At the end, they were like, oh, we want to create this group of superhuman women that control the world. But what are you going to do with that? What's the plan?
Well, they have the testes under glass.
Yeah. They still needed sperm. And why did they need the sperm from that guy? He was the most worthless character on the whole show.
It was her son.
Her son. Yeah, that was weird,
Nothing like having her son... I just can't even... The show is so fucking stupid. I mean, I don't even know what number you're on right now, but this is absolutely one of the dumbest.
We're number 2.
Number 2.
We're number 2 of 10 talking points.
This is absolutely in the top 2 dumbest fucking shows that have ever been broadcast on television.
Uh-huh.
I mean, its plot got dumber and dumber as it went on. No pun intended. Yeah. The story got worse as it went on. It got more convoluted. It got more complicated. It got more wrapped up in itself. Till the very end, you have the baddie is fucking killing people off left and right, even her most faithful.
Yeah.
But the whole point of it is for her to be able to use her son's sperm, who she killed to get not only like herself but everybody else pregnant, and for her little fucking empire.
Yeah, but we still don't really know what she wanted to do about it.
I mean, it is just. I mean, this is like something that somebody in fucking 9th grade would put together and like make as their movie project. They'd send it to George Lucas and try to get a job.
It
was just, I mean, of all the fucking shark movies I've seen, this ranks right the fuck. I mean, it
ranks lower than Sharknado.
Oh, good God, yes.
Yeah,
let me put it this way:
Sharknado was intended to be
every
stupid.
episode of this, I would love to see the guys at Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yep.
Riff this fucking series. You know, they've got what, 9 episodes? There weren't that many episodes.
9, and I guess like
9 episodes.
Most of them, some of them were half-hour episodes.
I cannot. Oh my God, I hope they riff. I mean, normally they do movies. I don't know if they ever do TV shows and episodes, but this one deserves it. Oh my God, to see the silhouettes of the robots and the other guy sitting out there tearing this movie apart would be that. Then it would be good.
Yes. Rosemary's Baby was a theme in the movie because I imagine you saw the episode that focused on the actual filming of Rosemary's Baby with Mia Farrow and Roman Polanski and
So I'm wondering, and I've seen stuff that mentioned that. So I'm wondering, actually, is Rosemary's Baby kind of a theme or written to or alluded to in this book?
So the book Delicate is supposed to be a modern day Rosemary's Baby.
So there you go.
But what I've read and listened to is that AHS Delicate did not follow much of the book. They loosely followed the book, and that they kind of ruined the book too.
They loosely followed nothing.
Right. Well, I don't know what
they loosely followed my loose bowels.
But
mixing loosely in the toilet.
I will say one of the most decent episodes of this season was the one where they showed Mia Farrow filming the scene where she walks out into the street, because Roman Polanski actually, he actually forced her to do that, to walk out into traffic with a one handheld camera in New York City. So that's what that was all about.
Was
a real homage to the actual filming of Rosemary's Baby.
You just look into Godzilla's eyes; he'll make you feel better.
Godzilla always makes me feel better. So really, truthfully, the Rosemary's Baby thing, had they just really stuck with the focus on that, they could have pulled the show off. If they had used that as an overarching theme, they could have pulled it off. So then we talk about body autonomy, which obviously they were controlling Anna's body from day one, with the second half showing that they had started, Siobhan had showed up in the in vitro support group and had orchestrated Anna's connection to the doctor, the baby doctor, the in vitro doctor, all that stuff. I think any show right now about body autonomy for women is good if it's executed well. This one wasn't executed well.
Well, there was no body autonomy in this.
But I mean, talking about show. Body autonomy, and it's a show.
Talked about it, but it sure didn't.
It didn't provide it.
It didn't provide it. It didn't display it, or
no.
It's quite the opposite.
Because Anna had no control over her body throughout the whole thing.
Well, and then there was the little piece on the side that was fucking with her, writing everything on the mirror, as we...
Yeah, that was...
Oh, my God, and she spilled her guts right at the end, like she was the... All right, Mr. Bond, now that I'm going to kill you anyway, I might as well tell you the entire plan. And she just stand there, and she fucking just rattled off everything that with the show, from the first episode to the 9th, of all the stuff that drove her crazy. And she's like, guess what? I'm the one to make him go cuckoo. I've been fucking your husband. And it's like, really? All of that was just because of an affair.
Right, it was, and that was stupid too. That had
nothing to do.
Had nothing to do with any of the rest
of it. The rest of the stuff.
Yeah,
it was just a woman trying to fucking drive the other one nuts.
And so, that was a completely unnecessary storyline we didn't need.
This fucking season sucked.
So then we got,
come out.
Okay, my next little point here, and this is still under number 3 category, by the way. We've got, was it witchcraft, Satanism, voodoo, or Hestia? Greek Hestia.
Well, it wasn't voodoo, because voodoo's not that stupid.
But they had the voodoo dolls. They had the voodoo dolls in there.
Barbies are not voodoo dolls.
Well, but they had those dolls.
That doesn't matter. They were not sanctioned.
So we ultimately don't know.
Those were not sanctioned voodoo appliances.
So they go all the way back to 42 AD to describe what happened to the original the original woman and the babies, and we see this like figure, shadowy figure, but we
What
still
do you mean with Queen Elizabeth or whatever?
no. There's two scenes.
Or are you talking about the mother and the two sisters?
Yeah, the mother and the two sisters that turned out to be
stupid.
Adeline and her evil twin sister, and the one character that was killed by Siobhan for killing Dex. So they never explained, like, who are these people? They never explained them.
Is all of this? Did this season become so disjointed and so fucked up and so bad because of the writer's strike?
Who knows? Who knows?
Did they have? Because if you look at the sheet, the first half of the season got a 77% Rotten Tomatoes from critics and 65% from audience.
Yeah.
The second half of the season, critics wouldn't even fucking rate it.
Right.
And you got 32% from the audience.
Yeah.
There were not that I always hold a lot of. I look towards the audience scores on these typically, but I'm right there with that. I wouldn't even do 32%. But it's almost like the first half of the season was done like a television show production would be. Mm-hmm. And then the second half of the season, we got everybody from fucking Culver's up north.
Oh, back to Culver's. Valerie.
And we've got Valerie and her French fry crew are fucking writing the rest of the episodes for the second half of the season, and that's what we got.
Well, I wish they would have asked me.
Because it was just so differently bad.
It was
from the first half.
Well, but so yeah,
and I realized that there was a split with the writer's strike and everything. Well,
yeah,
holy shit!
It was so. Personally, I think the acting was good in this particular season, but the writing was terrible, like you said. There was too many plot holes. There was too many unanswered questions. There was no. It's kind of like Lost when they didn't have a game plan for the end and they didn't build it up each episode to meet the plot points.
I could never. My problem is it wasn't until I started watching another TV show that I realized that Micaela High Rodriguez, at one time formerly known as Peter.
Okay. What are you talking about?
Well, it's a trans actor.
Oh.
So
okay, no.
I'm not making fun of the trans part. I'm making fun of that he's fucking cross-eyed, or she's cross-eyed. If you look at her,
who's the trans actor?
The black one that was like taking care of her at the house.
Oh, Nicolette. Her name is Nicolette.
Cara.
I thought her name was Nicolette.
What says Micaela High Rodriguez as Cara.
Okay.
And so and she ended up being one of the bird people too.
Yeah.
At the end.
Yeah.
And it's not that she's trans. And I only found that out because I watched another show, Loot, on Apple TV Plus with what's her name from Saturday Night Live. It's hilarious. And she's awesome. She's a great actor. But she's got one eye looks straight forward and her other eye looks right at her nose. And it's just, you watch her and it's just distracting is all.
I didn't even notice.
I mean, especially with somebody like me with perfect facial features.
Well, I personally, great. Okay. I personally thought that Annabelle Dexter-Jones playing Adeline was the absolute best part of the show. And she came in so late to the game.
She actually was good.
Yeah. She was.
And her eyes weren't crossed.
Oh gosh. And had they tied her into the character, to Anna's character from the beginning, the ending when she came up to help Anna defeat Siobhan would have been so much more. Yeah. I mean, it would have made so much more sense.
And then, because they didn't bring her in until they brought her in at the end and they killed her. And
right.
So
one of the big things,
routed her guts with the knife and everything.
So I read up on that. You know that scene where they carve her up
you
and they
go. Be alive that long while they're digging through your guts.
But she was immortal. Remember, she had been alive.
Is that what it was?
So she was one of the two babies pulled out of the women in 42 AD.
Yeah, she was one of the sisters.
She's one of the sisters. But so that whole scene where they dived into her belly and started smearing the infant blood in their face. Do you know what that's a reference to? Did you read about that?
No, I didn't.
It's a reference to adrenochrome, the QAnon theory. That QAnon theory of basically liberal vampires eating baby blood.
Oh, that's what the...
Yes.
That's all the pizza... So that's the pizza place.
Gross. Oh, God. Yeah. Well, they were in a
That's
restaurant.
that's Hillary Clinton and that's Hillary Clinton
yeah,
and
it's
what
the whole
they're
pizza place thing.
doing in the pizza
Yeah.
place.
So that was a total reference to adrenochrome. They didn't cite it as adrenochrome. Her eyes are. We're looking at an image now of the character.
On our
Kara.
right, her left. That is fucking cross.
Maybe her. Okay, so she's got a small visual acuity disability. That's no reason to make fun of.
No,
her.
I'm just saying. I look at her and that's all I can see is that one eye that just kind of fucking drifts.
She was an incredibly effective actress in this show. I thought she added an element that was good to this show, a scary element, I think. Maybe her eyes had something to do with that.
Well, here she is with Maya Rudolph, and what I told you about Loot on Apple TV. It's freaking hilarious. Maya Rudolph from Saturday Night Live.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
And or Bridesmaids. She's the one that pooped in the wedding dress in the middle of the street.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
that.
that's Maya Rudolph. They're both in Loot. It's called on Apple TV Plus.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's awesome. She, Micaela or whatever, is the one that has to fucking keep everything on track.
Yeah.
In the TV, it's so awesome. Anyway,
well,
but she got one eye just kind of
she's
going.
fine. Come on, she's fine.
You just can't. It's like
Okay.
What's his name? Lip.
I didn't even notice. Let's talk about the character of Dex and his whole family arc, which was completely worthless. So, I mean, really, the whole thing with his mother, that was just bizarre. His mother, we don't even know. I mean, we don't even know what that was all about.
So I couldn't tell. So the psycho weird father knocks her out while she's drinking, and then they have a demonic orgy.
Mm-hmm. And then they're bleeding her.
That's what I was wondering. It looked like she was hung
Drinking
up
her
and she
blood.
was being bled out while he was fucking somebody else.
That was Siobhan that he was fucking.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, because she made reference to that.
But that makes sense because he's like, "This is how you came about, boy,"
Yep,
or
this is
whatever.
how you
So
got- you got
if that was
made.
Siobhan, then it's just. I mean, I can't believe I didn't recognize her. I mean, good Lord, it was Kim Kardashian on all fours. You'd think I would have spotted that right away.
Snap.
Woo!
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah.
So,
Well, maybe it was a body double.
but so I could. Yeah, it looked like they were bleeding mom out.
Yeah, like.
But then I got confused already because so they must have bled her out because the next thing you know, there's a funeral that's going on. Mm-hmm. But the whole familial who is fucking who to become who to kill who that's impregnated by who. I mean, it was just there was like this 2 degrees of separation of all this family stuff that was going on that just.
So if they could have,
so
if they
bad.
could
Why are
have
we still talking
managed
about
to
this
tie,
show?
well, because we got a few more talking points. We could have managed to tie it to Rosemary's Baby. It would have made some sense, but they did such a poor job of that.
You're right. This Annabelle Dexter.
Here it is. I'm going to go.
Was so good.
I'm going to also
She
go
was so
now
good.
here to an interesting. She was the best part of the whole show. The whole thing when they
was awesome.
started doing the Hestia versus whatever demonic force thing was good, but there wasn't enough of that.
Even Billy Lord and those other groups. I mean, sucked.
Completely worthless.
Yeah.
Completely worthless
And what was
characters.
there was sucked.
And that's what I said. And then I also said, why kill off the security guard? There's no need for that. They could have just shoved him out of the vehicle. They didn't have to kill him.
Security guard.
So at the end, when Anna was being taken away in the ambulance and one of the witches was driving the ambulance, she shot the
He
security
was one
guard.
of the paramedics, wasn't he?
No, he was in the front seat.
Oh, he was a security guard. That's
Yeah,
right.
he was her security guard because we didn't know for a long time whether he was a good guy or a bad guy. And that's how we found out is when they killed him.
Yeah, that was stupid.
And then I just randomly wrote, who's taking care of the dog? What happened to the dog?
What
I mean,
dog?
they had a dog, a golden retriever. And like, who's got the dog? Who's taking care of the dog?
Really?
Yeah, they had a dog. It was Adeline's dog. Adeline and Dex had a dog, and
It's
then
probably with the Brady's dog after season 1 when nobody has any
Tiger!
idea. Nobody has any idea
Tiger!
what happened to Tiger.
so and then this is my last talking point.
And what about Julie White as the preacher woman? They just all we know is they say a couple ladies took her away, and that's the last we fucking hear.
Exactly.
And I was like, oh my god, she's going to be in with all the Raven chicks or whatever,
I was
and we don't see
expecting her to
anything
be
about
there,
her.
But she was kicked out of the Satan Club. So
Right, which I mean, good for her. She and then with her mother with that Deborah Monk.
Yeah.
I loved that. Of course, they only had that one really cool conversation in the restaurant or whatever it is. But when you talk about people that really, that Annabelle Dexter, Julie White, and Deborah Monk,
They just
their
dropped
acting and
a lot
everything
of
was it was good acting with shitty lines, but they still nailed it.
Yeah. So, I mean, really, they did not have a good ending for Preacher at all, and she was a big part of that show.
Yeah, she just disappeared.
She was a big part of that show.
She was the one that was like calling her out from the beginning, like get her,
Same with Dennis O'Hare. They didn't do much with him, and that was kind of, they could have done more with him.
Well, he turned out to be just another fucking tool.
Just another tool. Yeah. So, another thing that gets me about this is that we have this overarching story of Siobhan and ruling the world. She's the auteur. She says at the end, I'm the auteur. And honestly, she walks into the room and a little fucking prayer to a long gone Greek goddess kills her like that. Like just a prayer.
Well, that's, yeah.
And I mean, there's no epic battle at the end. She just starts she just basically withers away, and so does...
It's like the second TV show that had a problem with no epic battle at the end.
Well, okay, but still...
Shogun, by the way.
Yeah,
which we'll talk about later.
We'll talk about that. But here's the deal. I mean, that was so bizarre. It's like, you've been alive since 40 AD, probably.
You're some badass, whatever.
You are a god in some ways, and, just like this little
blah,
prayer.
Blah, blah,
and then
somebody says something, and your face
light
starts to
defeats
melt.
Darkness. And then the baby, this is the other thing people are really getting pissed about. They said, we never got to see the actual demon baby. We just saw the little claw hand.
Yep.
Which I personally don't think is a bad idea not to show the demon baby, because a lot of people will just think the graphics are bad and not like it. It's maybe better not to show the face. Just a little demon hand is enough.
Sometimes that's the not seeing. We were talking about the things that make you shit your pants. It's like, when Alien came out in 1979, it was all the times that you didn't see the alien.
Yeah.
But you knew the alien was there or might be there. I mean, that's what...
Or just a tail coming down, something like that. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's literally suspense. It is the actual definition of it, which makes it more scary or potentially terrifying, depending upon where you're coming from.
But there are shows that have done it well.
For the baby, the little claw thing like that. And then there's shows that have not done it well.
But
which I think is where you're going.
Yeah, so I mean that I get it, especially if they're cutting corners, they're fine with that. But I mean, it was totally a fake fucking hand. I mean, it looks like it came right off the fucking CGI.
Well, and very. I mean,
it wasn't a prop hand.
It was CGI that was scribbled in there off of somebody's fucking iPad. The last week that they did production, it was terrible.
Yeah,
terrible.
I mean, I saw a similar hand like that on that Surreal Estate show. I mean, it's like we've seen that little claw baby hand. I mean,
but back to Rosemary's Baby. That's where that comes from.
Right, it does come from Rosemary's
the claw hand coming out of the stroller.
They did it
or
better.
Not stroller. What do they call bassinet? Whatever they call it.
But yeah, how does one Greek chant kill her? Just kill her. And then there's no epilogue. There's absolutely no epilogue. We see Anna put on the headdress. We see her grab her trophy, grab her baby, clutch it all. She's got it all, and that's it.
Did you not find it was... Why'd she put that fucking thing on her head?
Because it showed that she had it all. She had just won.
See, I was like, are you fucking serious? I thought it just made her look like a bigger lunatic than before.
Well... I guess I don't know what I would feel like after I just killed an ancient demon and
I mean, it was just
found my baby and my husband is dead and my security guard's dead and I don't know where the dog is and everybody in my life for the past 9 months has been fucking me over.
I need to know, how many middle fingers do you give this TV show?
Well, honestly, because it's American Horror Story, and this is my perspective on American Horror Story. There hasn't been a single season that hasn't gone to shit. Not one, not even from the beginning. So, Coven is the best, but there still is a moment in Coven where it goes to shit.
Where did it go to shit in Coven?
Well, I can't remember, but it does. It kind of does.
Just because you had to go take a shit while you were watching an episode doesn't mean that it went to shit.
I would say probably when the big gal gets screwed over by the Minotaur. That kind of is when it goes to shit in Coven.
I forgot about the Minotaur.
Yeah.
And what's her name? Abadi-doo-doo Grabby, or whatever her name
she
is.
gets like raped by a minotaur, which is gross. That'd be my moment in Coven. But Coven by far the best, of course.
Right. This is the worst.
Yeah, some people might say it that.
And I used to think it was that other one where it was the where there were something hills or whatever it is. Roanoke.
I never watched Roanoke. I couldn't bring myself to watch Roanoke.
I watched like 3 episodes and I was done because it was so fucking stupid.
I'm not into pig squealing.
Well, but it was just so bad. I mean, it was just bad, so I quit watching. So I always label that one the worst.
Yeah. Well,
even though I didn't watch it all. But yeah, this was just, and like I told you, I had seen that I had watched, how much of it I had watched, and when I texted you, I'm like, well, I'm looking at it, and there's only 4 episodes left, or whatever it is.
I think it's a good podcast topic.
What a waste of a fucking weekend.
It is a good podcast topic, but.
And I had just come off of finishing and doing a what is it when you watch everything?
A binge?
A binge. I had just finished binging The Expanse.
Oh.
And rolled into this. What a fucking...
Because of Shora Agadushlu.
I mean, exactly. She's my girl.
We love her.
She's my fucking girl, man. And she was fucking...
And I need to watch The Expanse again.
She was fucking on it all the way to the last episode. But what a letdown coming from one TV show that's got its shit fucking, tight to a show that doesn't. Ugh.
But I think you made a really good point that the writer's strike probably did mess this up. It could have been better. I mean, definitely it should have been better.
But they could have gotten 6 drunk monkeys in a fucking cage to finish it, and it would have been better than this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean,
you and I could have sat the fuck down.
Oh, sure we could have.
And written out fucking 4 episodes.
I think that's what it was. I think
that's what it was. Written out 4 episodes to finish this fucker off. And it would have actually been better.
I would have loved to have written to this, and one of our tenets of our podcast, though, is that we don't do that.
I know, but I actually,
But
yeah.
How actually, if I had put this thing together, I would have started the show with a flashback. I would have started it to this 42 AD flashback. Started it with the whole nexus of the cult. Then I would have played it off the family thing of Rosemary's Baby till the end with Siobhan, with more things dipped in there. Siobhan, we don't need Siobhan to be the reveal at the end. That should have been built.
So I'm going to defend us just a little bit because that's what started this whole thing, as you just mentioned. Game of Thrones started it.
Yeah, it did.
Game of Thrones started it, and everybody bitching about the last season of Game of Thrones and how it ended. And our point being, you got something better, put up or shut up, right? Mm-hmm. That's always been our deal. But the level of badness
to this one
on this one, it's not like we didn't like the ending and we didn't like how it ended. Well, I mean, yes, we don't, but I mean, it wasn't like, they never should have killed the mother of dragons. She should have lived, and something should have happened with fucking what's his nuts, and they should have lived happily together, and she shouldn't have fucking wiped out the village. I mean, as far as plot points go, they don't. There were things with Game of Thrones. People complained about Khaleesi fucking murdering everybody and Khaleesi being killed, and then these specific points of things that happen. It wasn't, oh my God, the entire back half of the season, every episode, all the writing, everything was just to shit and scatterbrain and all over the place. Nothing was coherent, nothing connected, nothing made sense, nothing related almost to the first half of the season. I mean, you know what I mean?
Right.
I would say that that's a kind of a different complaint, and I actually would say that,
the difference is we were watching a quality show, so it wasn't as impactful. I mean, we're not, to me, I don't go into the weeds on a quality show.
I would never be able to, I would never pretend to say that, okay, I didn't like the way Game of Thrones ended. I didn't.
And I can rewrite it better. Yeah.
I would never in a fucking million years say, I could fucking sit down and write it better.
One thing...
I mean, I could have some ideas where it'd be like, okay, sure, rather than having Khaleesi die, maybe something else could happen to her. But you know what?
Right.
I got no idea what should have happened to her.
No, I don't either.
And Jon Snow, the way his story ended, maybe I didn't like the way it ended. I got no fucking idea what
And FYI,
how his
they've
shit ended.
scrapped the Jon Snow sequel.
That's what I heard.
They've scrapped it.
So, I mean, that's a show where it's like, I know I could never even in my weird ass imagination I have not come up with something better.
Right.
I just know that I would have tried to have done it so that Khaleesi didn't fucking, use Drogon as a murder weapon.
Yeah.
And to keep her alive. I would have done something. I don't know what it is, but I'm not smart enough to figure it out, and I know that. So thank you, writers.
But
this is how you end the story.
We are smart enough to figure this out.
This fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
I mean, my God.
You know what? I want to say this though. I really do want to say that Kim Kardashian was one of the best parts of the show, and I give her some accolades for what she did with what she was given, because I think she did play a good character, and just from sheer point of being an actress, people didn't think she could do it. People thought it was stupid she was cast. That's not the problem with the show. She was a good part of this show.
I wanted it to be. I mean, I'm still glad that the worst American Horror Story season ever was still one that was helmed by Kim Kardashian. That part still makes me happy.
That's funny.
But the flip side of it is exactly what you just said.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with her. She's great.
Her acting was not bad.
Yeah, she's a perfect person for the role.
I mean, but I have a feeling she probably goes around every day acting.
Yes.
No, I'm dead serious because of who she is. Everything she does is fucking fake anyway.
Well,
she steps out of the house and it's fucking. She's acting from the time she gets up to the time she goes to bed.
Well, she's putting on a persona, yeah.
That's what I mean.
That could be acting.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. So,
well, let us take a deep breath and move on to our next topic, which is the movie Civil War. We need to take a break.
We could do a break and do a refresh, and I can do a stop.
Yeah, let's do that.
And then we can do a restart so that we're not.
Okay, so let's record
so
it.
we
Let's
don't
record
tell,
an
we
ending.
gotta do something.
So, if you were to ask AI to summarize what we just said, what do you think the AI would say about AHS Delicate?
It would come back and it would ask me, like what I asked you, how many middle fingers would you like to give this show?
And we're giving 4 middle fingers. We're giving as many middle, and no, let's give 8. The dogs can give 1 too.
Yeah, but they each have 4 feet.
Whatever. I can't do the math. They're not lifted up their back legs to give the middle fingers. So
it's just when you look at it, when you look at how it went from starting and other sites that do movie reviews and all that kind of stuff, when this season started, and it all you saw was this season has the best ratings since like 2019. I need to go back and see what was 2019. I forgot to do that to see which one it was.
Well, I read something about American Horror Stories fans are constantly waiting for a better season. That's what keeps them joining up again, is this hope that the next season will be better.
Oh, so they're Vikings fans.
Yeah. So, I think that's part of the problem with American Horror Story is that they just don't deliver what they promise. And typically, they set the show up with trailers and commentary and marketing to look really amazing, and then it just doesn't play out that way.
Okay, so season 10 was 2021. So season 8 was 20. Okay, so season 9 was 2019. Oh, so that was 1984. So it was the Camp Redwood and all that kind of stuff.
So I didn't watch 1984. I thought it was one of the stupidest ones ever.
Oh, no, this was... 1984 was a fucking cinematic masterpiece compared to this.
Yeah.
So the stuff that I had seen referenced, 2019 is, they haven't had this high of ratings since 2019.
Oh, wow.
And that was what we saw at the beginning of the season.
Sure.
And so I'm like, oh my God, what are we talking about? Okay, so it was the 1984 one with Camp Redwood and everything. And it was good because that was the one that had the three guys were in the shower doing a little mutual.
Oh, well, that's why you liked it. Okay.
Exactly. That was a little sexy time in the shower.
So one of the reasons I didn't like 1984 is I don't like slashers. I don't like slasher films.
But so it went from 77% and 65% respectively. On the Rotten Tomato score again. I don't really give a shit with the professionals, if you will. they don't know jack shit as far as I'm concerned compared to, Bob and Nancy that went to the movie and decided to do this. So the audience score is what I always like. But when you got it to where the all you get is an audience score because there aren't any critics that'll even do it. And so the critic score is NA and the audience score is 32 or 22 or whatever it is.
It's pretty rough.
I mean,
pretty rough. Yeah.
So so that was quite the.
Well, I think we just.
So
need...
I give it 0. I give it 0 stars if I can give it 0 anything or as many middle fingers as I can give it.
Yeah, we want our time back. I suffered through a lot of trauma with those spider images just to finish this show, and there was no real reason for spiders at all. And I just want to make sure the dog is okay. And why couldn't they just have had an epilogue with Anna and the dog and the baby and at a picnic or something? They could have done, so much more, but... Okay, so anyway,
they say phoning it in, right?
We are going to leave that behind because we won't have another AHS for a long time. So let's just leave it in the dirt. We're going to leave it in the dirt.
2025 next year.
So now are we going to start this around Halloween again? Because to me,
it just says episode 13.1, 2025.
Okay, yeah, they're going to miss Halloween then. So, okay, whatever.
Well, yeah, but it's April right now.
Sure, but AHS should debut around Halloween. It just doesn't make sense or the first half should end at Halloween or something. I don't know. Whatever. I want to see werewolves. That's all I care about. Next AHS, I want it to be werewolves.
We're way off track.
Well, then we should wrap it up. So
please.
Thank you. I really hope.
What are we doing next?
Well, we're gonna end this one, and then we're gonna start a new podcast.
No, what's our next podcast going to be about?
Civil War.
Oh, Civil War. I might tell you, Mrs. Lincoln, I done shot your man in the head. They're actually doing that there's an Apple TV Plus show called Manhunt.
Oh.
That is all about, it starts within the first 20 minutes, Lincoln is dead.
Oh.
And it is. It's about the manhunt for, I was going to say, Franklin Scott Key, but that really isn't the guy who shot Lincoln, was it? No.
Wow.
Booth.
Yeah.
Boothby. Boothby.
Yeah.
Who's Booth?
John
Boothby?
Wilkes Booth,
yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it's about the manhunt with John Wilkes Booth after he killed him.
Where am I getting Wilkins from?
Oh, Boothby was the gardener in Star Trek.
Oh, my God. Wow, we sound really ignorant right now. I'm sorry. Did we even go through fifth grade?
But it's good. But it's a good. I've watched the first 3 episodes so far. So it's pretty, but like I said, it doesn't fuck around. The first episode's not halfway over, and Lincoln's already dead. But because it's not the story about the murder of Lincoln, it's a story about the manhunt of John Wilkes Booth.
Okay, well that sounds cool.
And now he flees to the. It's very good. It's very good.
All right. Well.
So anyway, Civil War will be our next podcast.
Thank you for listening and hopefully commiserating with us about AHS Delicate, because I really hope everyone's on the same page with this. Because it seems like we got it right. I think we got this one right.
Every season, it's like either fucking nails it or it just sucks.
No, it doesn't nail it all the time. That's what I'm saying. But it doesn't nail it any of the time, 100%. There is no season other than Coven that could be elevated above the others.
That's the deal. I always go back to Coven. Obviously, Coven is the standard.
Yeah.
But every episode and every scene of every episode wasn't perfect either, and nor would it possibly be. But cumulatively,
sure,
all the episodes in that season make that the best season that there was. So I'm just saying. I don't think none of them seem to have even whatever we've said everything. We've said it enough.
Yeah, it's time to let it go.
I'm out of breath.
We can let it go. Namaste. Ave Hestia.
Let it go. Relax your bowels.
No.
And let it go.
We're not doing that.
Smell the release.
No, one's bowels are relaxing. God.
Feel the splash.
Stop. No. This is just getting bad.
Water.
Oh my God. This is just getting bad. Basically, what you're saying is we need to take a dump out of this.
Hot bottom.
This is a total dump, and we need to take one.
The movie was, that's
It's
it.
a total
That's
dump.
what it is. How many? It's not how many middle fingers. How many turds?
How many turds can we squeeze into the pool for this one? Yeah.
This is. There's no water left.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
All right. Peace
All right,
out,
Nancy.
everyone. Thanks. I'm Nancy.
Oh,
You're
yeah, all
Scott.
right.
We're done.
I will see you next time.
Why did you have to stop? It was like I said, we're done.
That's what I said. We'll see you next time. I have a right.
You know.